All right, good afternoon, everyone. Starting a little bit early, I am meteorologist Grace Thornton here at KVUE, and we are going to go over the myriad of storms and showers that we are going to be seeing throughout this afternoon, as well as all the way extending into tomorrow morning. So one of our biggest updates that we have gotten over the past couple of hours here is our flood risk has really increased for many areas. So they've sort of expanded a lot of the area that we think is going to see some flooding for today. And we're going to see multiple rounds of rain at multiple times of the day. So I just kind of want to pull this up really quick and show you guys exactly what the National Weather Service is outlining for us. So I want to read a little bit of an excerpt from the flood watch that they issued. Of course, you can see that this affects all of our central Texas counties, even down through San Antonio, with the exception of Mason County. But if you are in Mason County and you are tuning into our live stream, definitely keep your eye out for some flooding tonight too. You guys aren't completely exempt from this watch because all of us are going to see some type of rainfall as we head throughout this afternoon and tomorrow. So what I wanted to read to you guys is within the flood watch that they issued a little bit earlier on today. I think they issued it sometime while we were in our midday show. Yeah, 11:09. The additional details section says periods of scattered to numerous showers and thunderstorms will bring the possibility of heavy rainfall to the watch area. Isolated amounts in excess of 5 inches may be allowed for flash flooding to occur. So because they've kind of outlined the potential for 5 inches of rainfall at times, we definitely want to be making sure that we are weather aware today and we are taking proper precautions to prepare for the potential of flash flooding. And again, flash flooding comes out of nowhere. Regular flooding, kind of aerial wide flooding, is something that you kind of see gradually. So let's head into today's forecast, or let's kind of take a look around town at the moment. We'll pull up Max 1 again and I'll get this loaded up for us, our radar view rather. So it'll take a second to load. Last time I checked, we weren't seeing much out there. Now this is our satellite and radar, so a lot of this has been being taken from kind of those upper atmospheric areas. So let's switch over to our regular radar that we can see on the ground. And you can see it's kind of hard to tell even where the rainfall is right now. So let's zoom into a couple of areas where we're seeing a little bit of action. I also want to pull up just for myself our live stream so I can tell if you guys have any questions or need to know more so about what you guys want to see across the area, or just, you know, your questions for your individual neighborhoods and such for the rest of the day. Alrighty. All right, so zooming in, we have Blanco County. I still have you guys on our Max 1 computer. This is great. All right, so we have a little dollop right here over or to the south of Blanco, so south 281, and let's kind of move across the area a little bit. So we're seeing some scattered activity kind of south of Bankersmith, Stonewall, Johnson City, Dripping Springs. I'd see a couple, you know, potentially heavier showers over towards the Hayes County area a little bit earlier. It was in between Kyle and Buda. You guys are dry for right now, but we're going to continue to honestly monitor the area for things like this. So let's zoom in a little bit closer down towards Canyon Lake. You see that small little, you know, it's showers, but there is some potential for some heavier rain in there. You can see with those yellow coloring. So right now, Hayes County, a little bit of Travis County out towards the Westlake area and western Travis County. You guys are seeing some sprinkles. Rosanke, String Prairie, well, later, I know people are going to correct me on that. I would love to be corrected. Down towards Luling and even south towards Gonzales as well. We're not seeing much in the way of rainfall towards our northern cities. So if you are up towards Georgetown, Cameron, Burnett, you guys are dry for right now. I think we can check in on some of our cameras actually. Here's a look down at the UT Tower. Definitely some raindrops there, not totally, you know, a washout just yet, but we are seeing a little bit of that activity. I also want to take us over to our other camera. Here's a look up in Round Rock where you can see it is definitely drier, looks pretty green and nice, things moving along pretty well out there. which looks good to me. All right, so not much activity going on right now. This is a good thing because even within the next hour or so, we're expecting a lot of this moisture down to the south and east of us. That's going to bubble up, and that's where our storms are going to be coming from a little bit later on today. So let's move into our flood risk for today, because this also has been expanded just like we saw our flood watch expand across the entire area. They also took that into account for our excessive rainfall outlook today, which is just a fancy way of saying our flood outlook for our region. So we are in a 3, which is actually a little bit rare, 3 out of 4. So, and this was covering this morning many places around the northern I-35 corridor, up down through Fayette County and even up towards College Station and Milam County. Now you can see that that polygon has spread all the way into Burnett County, Llano, Gillespie County, through Blanco, and now through Hayes, as well as Caldwell County too, and even extending down past San Antonio to include San Antonio too. So we are expecting exceptional rainfall as we head through today. So I want to kind of take you guys through the timing, because as we kind of get into the afternoon here, it's going to seem pretty quiet, and then all of a sudden we're going to be dealing with showers and storms for the rest of the night. So I've got our HRRR model pulled up. This is the one that we've been using. It's been doing pretty well with a lot of the showers and storms and kind of our cold fronts that we've been watching over the past couple of days here, or couple of weeks, I should say. Every time we kind of get a rainfall event like this, we toggle between our high resolution models, see what's giving us the best outcome, which one verifies the most, and the HRRR has been doing pretty well over the past couple of weeks. So let's take this full for you guys. All right, here we're showing 1 p.m. It's just past 1 p.m. right now, 1:05. I'm going to try and stream for you guys probably until about 1:30, just so everyone can exactly know what we're expecting for this afternoon. I just want to take a second here to be able to reach out to our producers. I would like the comments are off on our YouTube video right now. I'd like them to be turned on. Can we turn on the comments on YouTube? Okay. All right, let's go through the rest of this. All right, so 1 p.m. here, you can see that this is initializing even some heavier showers and storms to the south of us right now. However, obviously that's not happening just yet. But you see, as we move through the next couple of hours, here's 1:30. And right as we head into 3 o'clock, I think this is the 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock hour is definitely going to be the hour that we see kind of that big boost of moisture. So most of it's going to be coming from the south and east, so down towards Fayette County and, you know, coming up from Hallettsville as well. Luling, Bastrop, all these kind of areas, those southeast areas, the coastal plains, are going to be seeing our first instances of rain and storms as we head through this afternoon. So that's 3 p.m. Let's head in a couple hours forward. All right, 4 p.m. you can see that the overall look to the scattered showers and storms are certainly look scattered and pretty widespread, with exception from the hill country, and the hill country is, you know, still in that one step down flood risk, so not the moderate, they're in the slight. So we're going to see most of our rainfall occur on this side of the map. So definitely, if you're in the Austin metro, this is going to be affecting you throughout the day today. You want to keep a close eye on the radar. Now, this model is just a model. We don't exactly know where the storms are going to be at each time. It's going to be kind of no rhyme or reason to them this afternoon, especially this afternoon. We'll know a little bit more about exactly what's happening for Thursday morning, and I'll show you guys that in a second. But for this afternoon, it's really going to be no rhyme or reason to where these showers pop up. We just know that they're mostly going to be on the central and eastern side of our viewing area. So that's 4 p.m. And as we head through 5 and 6 p.m., same kind of story. You see a lot of showers and storms over on that eastern side, kind of hugging the eastern points of the I-35 corridor. As we head towards 6 p.m., still the same kind of story. And here we go, 7 p.m. I think by 7 and 8 p.m., we're going to see a slight lull. Now, don't count on that for every single place in our viewing area, but I think for a good portion of people, we will see a small lull in some rainfall out there. I'll pull this up a little bit higher for you guys. Okay, here we go. So you see at 7 p.m. that we start to break apart some of that, and, you know, Travis County, Hayes County gets a bit of a break for a little bit. And I think this is going to last a good, a slight while. So 8 p.m. and then as we head towards 9 p.m. and 10 p.m., let's get into 10 p.m. All right, after 10 p.m., I think we are going to see those showers and storms get, of course, a little bit more widespread. So as you're headed home from the office today, make sure that you're checking that radar and you're not going to run into, any super heavy downpours. The potential for hail is there, gusty winds, as well as a small tornado percentage or risk factor today. So we just want everyone to be aware of that for the day today. I'm getting an update from our producers. I'm going to head to our Facebook page in case there's any live updates there, or if you guys have comments that I'll be able to see. I need to see some comments. This would work a lot better if I knew my Facebook password. All right, so I might not have any comments on Facebook. I don't see them just yet on YouTube either. But those comments should be turned on as well. All right, let's get back into the forecast then. Okay, so for the 10 p.m., this is when we're going to start to see things get, they're isolated, but you can see it's a little bit more widespread in its coverage across the area. Then this is when we're going to see a lot more rain overnight. Let's stop it at just past midnight tonight. We see a much larger and looks much stronger. You can see all the pinks and the reds, a little bit stronger than this isolated activity that we're seeing around the region most of the day today. So this is going to be our squall line, or kind of a conglomerate of showers and storms that we're going to watch throughout the morning through early Thursday morning. This is likely going to be what gives us the most amount of rainfall that we have throughout the day. It's not going to be as spotty. It's just going to be a big drenching. So as we kind of move past midnight tonight, you can see that it is passing into the hill country and then continuing on into our I-35 corridor pretty quickly. And you can see it is going to be quite heavy for those rains. Just making sure I have this up here for you. So then we move into kind of, most of us will be asleep for this, but of course we want to keep you guys aware of what's going on, because when you're asleep, of course, you're not going to wake up during this, or you might wake up, or you might wake up to a tornado warning or a severe thunderstorm warning. And we just want to make sure that you have your notifications on for tonight. When you're going to bed tonight, definitely make sure you have your notifications on. Your phone is not silenced at all, because we are going to be dealing with some bumpy weather as we head through the early morning. So here's a look at 5 a.m. If you are an early riser tomorrow, you might be also running into rain on your commute to work in the morning. So I just showed you that line of storms, that big conglomerate of storms that moves through 2 to 3 a.m. tomorrow morning. And then we're going to have another round that shifts out of the hill country for kind of our commuter hours tomorrow. So as we shift past 5, 6 a.m., even into 7 and 8 a.m., and not until 10 a.m. tomorrow morning do we see all of this moisture try to move east of our area, and we'll finally get a little bit of some drier conditions for the next couple of days. So that's kind of the timeline. I've kind of split it up myself into, we'll move it back for a second. For myself, I like to think about it for this afternoon. We're going to be dealing with widespread scattered showers and storms for the afternoon and the early evening. Then there may be a slight lull in some places from about 7 p.m. to even trending towards 9 p.m. And then after that, I would say as we head towards 10 p.m. and later on, as we head into midnight tonight, that's when we're going to see the most amount of rainfall. That's when the heaviest rains are going to move through early Thursday morning, again, while most of us are asleep. And then as we shift into the later hours of Thursday morning, after our second round of a squall line, we should be drying out by about 10, 11 a.m. tomorrow morning. So that's kind of our timeline. Let's go over our risk factors. Actually, first off, I think we should go over our rainfall totals. A lot of people, it's kind of hard to understand rainfall totals, but anywhere from about a half inch to maybe 3/4 of an inch, that kind of rain is pretty deal withable. It usually does not cause flooding unless it's, day after day after day on multiple day occasions. But for here, as we just looked at before, our flood watch from the National Weather Service has indicated in its kind of extra lines there that we could be seeing 5-inch rainfall totals like per hour tonight or throughout tonight with some of these storms that are going to be forming. So we certainly need to be paying attention to the potential for flash flooding in the area. So here's a look at our rainfall totals through noon tomorrow. We'll pull this up larger for you guys. Through noon tomorrow, it looks like we could be inching towards 2 inches in a lot of places. You'll see that honestly anywhere from Mason down to Fredericksburg, even Lockhart, the Austin Metro, Georgetown, up towards Cameron, a lot of those areas trending upwards of an inch of rainfall. Now these are kind of widespread totals. It's hard for a high resolution model like this to be able to pinpoint exactly where, when, how much rain is going to fall. But I think from a lot of these totals, you'll be able to tell that we are looking at a good amount of rainfall and widespread throughout the region. We're always watching and wanting some more rain over towards the hill country, and it does look like the hill country is going to get some good rain, which we can be happy about. We can check in on our most current drought monitor from the past week and kind of check that out just a little bit. Here, I got to pull up our storm outlook really quick, and then we can check in on our drought monitor. Of course, we still want the rain in the hill country. We'll zoom in here. You can see a lot of West Texas, as well as areas to the south and west of us, kind of the Edwards Plateau area. These are the regions that are still in a severe to extreme drought in places. Now, thankfully, we don't have exceptional drought on the map. That was able to go away earlier on in January when we got a good amount of rain, but we're going to be watching this, and I think hopefully we'll be able to dispel a little bit of this, especially that moderate drought out there in Llano County, Burnett County, and Mason County. Hopefully we can get some good rains in there to try and offset some of those issues. So let's head back to our accumulations. Okay, so widespread, we're probably going to see about 1 to 2 inches of rainfall for a lot of places. A few places could get less than that. Of course, places can get more than that. So here's a look before midnight tonight. I was showing you the map of noon tomorrow, and it looks like as we head into midnight tonight, not going to see huge rainfall totals. I mean, we are definitely going to get good downpours, but the widespreadedness of this rain is going to be pretty low. We are going to see much more significant rain as we head past 12 a.m. tonight and head into 12 p.m. Thursday afternoon. The bulk of the rainfall will be overnight when we're sleeping, and unfortunately, we do need to be keeping track of flash flood issues during that time frame as well, because especially, when you're sleeping, you're not paying attention to what's going on outside or the river crossings near your house, things like that. So we just want to make sure everybody is keeping their alerts on as we head through the night tonight. All right, let's go over our threat risks for tonight, because obviously showers and storms pretty much all day long, all afternoon, all evening, and even into tomorrow morning. So Wednesday afternoon through Thursday morning, here is what our severe potential looks like. Of course, since I just showed you that we have now a flood watch out and our flood risk has also been elevated to include the whole of the region today, we're going to increase this flooding risk just a little bit, probably into a moderate to maybe even high risk for some areas, that are already pretty wet from the past couple of weeks or so. And then, for our actual storms that do form, I think we're mostly going to be dealing with the potential for a little bit of large hail. I wouldn't expect anything probably larger than golf ball size to maybe ping pong ball size, but obviously it's possible that you could get a little bit larger. But so large hail is a potential for some of these storms, and then damaging winds are also going to be another potential for our region. We have a very low isolated tornado risk. A lot of these storms tonight aren't going to have a big spin on them. So we're mostly going to be watching for the potential for the hail problem, the damaging winds problem, and of course the flooding problem for tonight. And I do have a little graphic I'd like to remind everyone about flooding, because people tend to not take flooding very seriously, but it does need to be taken seriously. So here's a little flash flooding graphic that we have for you guys, some safety tips if we do run into any flash flooding a little bit later tonight. I'm not sure when this graphic was made, maybe a little bit outdated, but I think it's good for everyone to have a NOAA weather radio, just because you can stay on top of things in real time on exactly what the National Weather Service thinks, exactly what they're warning or what they're watching, and keep up to date with KVUE. You can follow me, Grace Thornton WX, on all my socials. Hunt WX for Chief Meteorologist Hunter Williams, Jordan Derensberg, as well as Shane Hinton will be here later on this afternoon and into this evening and tomorrow morning. You can follow all of their social media pages. You can find that at KVUE.com. They'll be updating things very frequently as we head throughout the night, including myself. So if a flood occurs, you need to seek higher ground. So a lot of times we talk about a tornado warning. You want to head low. For these storms tonight, we're going to want to head high, just because there is a greater risk for that flooding. Do not cross flooded roadways. That should be pretty much a no-brainer, but you know, lots of people do it because a lot of times it just looks like a puddle and you can go through it. But with the flash flooding risk, you definitely need to be paying attention, because 6 inches of water can cause tires to lose traction, and 1 foot of water can cause cars to float away, be places they're not supposed to be, and rushing water is a really big deal as well. We don't want to be seeing anyone moving through rushing water, because obviously it can carry away your car. And that 6 inches of water one that we just saw, that is enough to sweep you off your feet as well. So major issues. Remember, just turn around, don't drown. Keep your wits about you as you head through the night. I know we always talk about being weather aware, but I think with flooding and the added risk of that, it really makes for a very active weather day. And when you're outside, you notice those storms around you so much more. I think rainfall, as well as like lightning, can really give you a good depiction of what's going on outside, because a lot of times you can't see the rain, and a lot of times you can't see the storm, even if it's, you know, 4 miles away from you or something like that. So yeah, we just want to stay weather aware. Let's go back to our radar just real quick, just to check on what's going on across Texas right now. So we're starting to see those showers pick up. Thankfully, no storms at the moment. We're going to go to our Texas radar. I'll pull that up for you guys. Okay, not much going on. Our low pressure system that we're watching for today, that is all the way north of Amarillo. So that's continuing to churn things up, and you can see our influence coming in from the Gulf of Mexico there. That's sending in us some good wind, good moist wind, and it's certainly warm out there too. It's going to remain humid for some time. I do want to check on our comments, but I just can't see them. I'm sorry. If you want to shoot me a message on my socials or anything like that, that would be a good caveat, or compromise rather. All right, comments from FB asking about getting severe weather, hail in Pflugerville, and when they should expect high winds in Manor. Manor, I know you were just hit with a EF1 tornado, so you're probably kind of on edge with the amount of severe weather forecast that's going on. So let's look through our high resolution modeling once again for tonight. All of you are going to have the same amount of flood risk. Because you saw earlier that, sorry, just answering some people back. Everyone is going to have the same amount of risk for flooding today. So if you're wondering about the flooding, that's just anywhere you are on the map is going to be the same amount. High winds in Manor. We can pull up our wind tracker for a little bit later on today. High winds are mostly going to be for within the thunderstorms. So if you know that, if you're watching the radar and you know that there's a storm coming towards your area, that's when you can expect those high winds to pick up. You probably have a lead time of about 10 minutes or so. Here's a look at our winds right now. You can see they're gusting up to about 20 miles per hour. I do want to show you guys the future winds though, if I can find that here in my long array of graphics. Here we go. All right, here's 9 p.m. tonight. Let's shift backwards a little bit. So you can see as we're going to start to see some of these storms pick up. We'll take that live. As we see some of these storms pick up, you'll see over in Bastrop that gust also picks up. So these are going to be very dependent on where we see our storms this afternoon, which is why I keep saying you just want to be paying attention to your radar tonight, no matter what the impacts are going to be, because they'll just let you know what's happening in your area and what you can expect. So as we shift through the night, you see that those pockets of gusts just get a little bit greater. So as we head towards about 9 p.m., you do see that most of the region starts to become this sort of yellowy color, which just means our gusts and our sustained winds are becoming greater across the area. So I think probably after about 8 p.m. tonight is when you guys can expect those winds to kind of gust up. And then of course, after 8 p.m. tonight, we're going to be dealing with showers and storms all night long. And of course, those winds are going to stay a little bit more elevated as we shift through the evening and overnight. All right, let's talk about hail in Pflugerville. So the hail risk is also, like I was saying with the flooding, the hail risk is going to be the same for everybody because we're all pretty much in the same polygon. And I'll show you this in just a second. So I'm loading up our severe weather threats for this evening. And we've got hail in here as well. So you can see hail. We're all in this West Texas rather is in this cross-hatched area. This is where we can expect really significant hail. This is why I was saying I'm not really expecting much greater than maybe golf ball size or ping pong sized hail, maybe quarter size to $50, because most of the significant hail is going to happen to the west of us. And then as we shift towards the east, you'll see we are downgrading that risk for hail, especially for the eastern sides of our area. You'll see that Travis County is included in the lowest risk for hail. So I think if you're in Pflugerville, you're going to be all right. I would, I would just be cautious because things can get a little bit hairy here just out of nowhere. So if you have the ability to get your car into a garage tonight or underneath some sort of awning, I would do that. Or you can even head to KVUE, our reporter Hannah Rucker, our morning anchor. She just did a great how-to video on kind of things you can find around your house to put over your car and make it safe for hail if there's a hailstorm headed towards your area and you only have a couple minutes to be able to protect your car. And I think it was a really great resource, so you guys should go watch that. I think you can just search Hannah Rucker in the search bar and it should come up for you guys. It's a pretty recent package that she turned for us, so that was a pretty good resource. And then high winds in Manor, we went through that. I think you guys can expect those gusts to really start to kick up past about 8-9 p.m. tonight as we head into the evening. All right, just checking on some things. Let's go back through our timeline one more time, and then I'm going to hop off for you guys because we're almost at 1:30 now. All right, 1 p.m. into tonight. I'll pull this a little bit greater for you guys. Zoom in a little bit. All right, over the next hour or so, this is when we're going to start to see those showers and storms pop up from the south and east end. You can see down there towards Bexar County and San Antonio. That's where they're going to be coming from. And as we shift through this afternoon, things do get a little bit more widespread. It's mostly going to be showers until about 4 or 5 o'clock. And then as we hit 4 or 5 o'clock, we do boost those chances for isolated to scattered thunderstorms within those chances for showers around town. So here's about 5 p.m. You can see that it's pretty widespread, anywhere from down towards Bandera all the way up towards Bryan, Texas. A lot of people going to be under that rainfall this afternoon. And then shifting a little bit more forward, I think the 6-7 p.m. hour, we're still going to be dealing with the potential for that rainfall and those heavy downpours with our thunderstorms. And as we head through about 8 p.m. into 9 p.m., things grow a little bit greater as we shift towards the midnight hour. And after the midnight hour, this is when we want to be making sure that everybody has their notifications on for the evening, because we've got another round of rain that's going to be coming in and much stronger, expected to be much stronger, that could produce the potential for severe thunderstorm warnings as well as tornadoes. I mean, the ones that we're dealing with this afternoon could also be severe warned, but they just have a little bit less juice to them, I think. So I think overnight tonight is when we need to be a little bit more extra prepared. Okay, into Thursday morning. Here's a look at 2 a.m. You'll see, man, we are really going to see some rainfall in the hill country. That's going to be wonderful for our drought conditions. However, it could also cause some flash flooding issues, which we want to be weather aware of as well. As you're headed out to work on Thursday morning, we are going to get so much rainfall kind of overnight into Thursday morning that it's possible that you could be needing to get through flooded roadways on your way to work, and we obviously want to discourage that here at KVUE. Remember, turn around, don't drown. I was just going over those tips with you guys. And then Thursday morning, we'll have one last round of these storms kind of move through probably 7 a.m. to about 10 a.m. And then after about 10 a.m., that's when we start to see things dry out for the day. May have a couple of scattered showers in there as we head towards Thursday afternoon. And of course, we do have some potential for rainfall even into this weekend. I know that it has been hard a little bit for, every weekend that comes around here in Austin, Texas, and we have rainfall to deal with. But Saturday and Sunday actually look a little bit drier than they did earlier in our forecast, earlier this week. So where we really want to be paying attention to things is tonight, tomorrow, and tomorrow morning, overnight tonight into tomorrow morning. 70% chance that most of you will see rainfall. We could probably increase that to about an 80 to 90% chance as well. And then as we shift through Monday and Tuesday of next week, thankfully we will be on the drier side. However, we are warming things up too. So as we head through this week, even on Thursday, we'll have to check back on that drought monitor because we should be getting some good rains overnight tonight. I'm not sure it will actually show up in our drought monitor for this Thursday, but probably next Thursday. As for right now, I don't think I have any more questions to answer. So that is going to be it. It's about 1:30 now. We're probably going to hop back on this stream a little bit later on this afternoon when things start to get a little bit more active across the area. Right now, we're just seeing those showers as well as some drizzle outside. And honestly, some areas to the north are completely dry at the moment. So we're going to wait for things to get a little bit more active and we can kind of track things a little bit better for you guys here at KVUE. Again, we'll have updates on that coming on our social media pages a little bit later on. And of course, tune into our 5 and 6 o'clock news. Actually, on the 6 o'clock news, please tune in because I have a hail story running, everything you need to know about hail. This month is our severe weather month for KVUE, so every Wednesday we're going to be premiering a new story from someone from the weather team that has to do with the severe weather that we deal with here in Texas. So this week it's me, it's about hail. I think next week it's about tornadoes with Hunter, and then we have a flooding as well as a hurricane story a little bit later on this month before we head into hurricane season, which starts on June 1st. So thanks for tuning in. Of course, we're going to start updating the web here too. So if you are wondering what's going on throughout the day, you can just go to head to KVUE.com and get all your updates and things right there and your details. All right, we are going to hop off and I'll see you guys a little bit later on.